I'm coming in person. It's so bad online.
Yeah.
It's convenient, but it's not the same, and it's not your fault, it's just a weird, it's a complicated system.
The system always breaks down.
Good to see you. Hi, I'm Rachel for the UNNC meeting.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Rachel.
Yeah,
Bronze.
no,
No.
Caesar. There's so many Rachels.
Oh, you're Caesar's wife.
No. Talk to me.
I got it.
And we're definitely on the same page on both items.
Right.
Now,
and neither of us actually on something.
that's what I heard. So I guess there's some that they were just posting the meeting info.
Right, well, you're here, but we have some constriction, a lot of constrictions because of the Brown Act. But you'll hear all about it.
Yeah.
I have to explain.
I'm happy to make public comment or whatever is allowed. And this is my first time coming to this meeting. I'm actually Expo in Arlington. I'm on the edge, but I've been to their meetings and a lot of
which corner of Expo in Arlington?
I'm on the more on the east part.
So really you're Nandacy.
I'm CD. I'm
In Council District 8. So you're in the North Area Empowerment Congress.
Yes.
Something. I mean, I call it Nandacy. They call it NANDAC. I don't even know where's that A. There's no A.
Yeah. I've been to their meetings, but I feel
they're different.
it's a huge area. It's insane.
So are ours, but they're a much smaller board. I'm actually was an initial member of them as well. I was on the before we had neighborhood councils.
Oh, wow.
By the way, I was Mark Ridley Thomas had set up the Empowerment Congress for all of Council District 8, but it was not just regions. There was also an economic development Congress, and I was part of that because I was on the Community Redevelopment Agency Advisory Committee.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, and he had a cultural, I mean, he had more sections. So
it's a lot in one.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. We don't yet have quorum. We're waiting for, well, we were waiting for you, but then we're waiting for Candace as well.
Okay, excellent.
So soonish, she's coming in person, crossing fingers. Well, this rain wasn't supposed to be happening till, midnight.
I know.
Right.
I was like, oh, there's parking out front.
Yeah.
I got here super early just I was worried about that. Where's that camera pulling from?
Oh, yes.
That's really cool.
So one thing is we're talking to them. And I have to remember not to talk to the computer.
That's hard.
Because there's our meeting over there. And obviously we'll be over here too, but where we're not is here.
Got it.
Computer.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so the
Nice
camera,
little
when
setup.
you talk, see, it follows you.
Well, it's like owl. Or
It's an
something.
owl.
Yeah.
It is an owl.
So I hear
Yeah, well. I mean, it's a rainy day.
I'm sitting in a dark car, so.
No, well, you're pretty well lit up.
No, okay, good.
Let's see if anyone from I'm part of the Maze parent group in the neighborhood.
Sure. And who's the president of that?
It's Marie.
It changes every year, I assume.
She's been present for a while. It's Marie, Erica, who's in the neighborhood, is connected to there in Altaloma.
Yeah, because they are often at the Wellington Square Farms.
Yes.
And is it, well, you're saying May, is this the new version of the moms of what?
Yes. When 2020 happened,
The name changed?
yes.
Hi there.
How are you? Hi.
It is wet.
Yeah.
Did you walk over?
No, we drove. Around the corner.
It's too wet. It's too the visibility.
It's cold.
All of the above.
Yeah.
All of them. I had told them that this is the first time this whole year I've worn anything that resembles some sort of coat. And it's not hardly a coat, really.
Does keep you warm?
Yes, but it's not like that. I mean, that is a coat.
Well, this is actually, I've got coats that are more thicker than this, but we're not on the East Coast, so it's not that.
So we're waiting.
Oh, okay. Should I move? Cause she's, okay.
The only place she really can't sit is here, but she's,
Oh, okay. Cause your VP sits here.
no, he sits in his car. But
Oh.
because this doesn't show up on the Zoom.
Oh,
On
it
the owl.
doesn't. Oh, it doesn't. I want an owl so bad. Those owls, they're great.
They are,
aren't they?
it is interesting technology, a little.
It's a little wonky, but it.
No, I mean, it sort of picks up things.
Everything.
Yes,
But I love how it moves around according to the voice.
it's like magic.
Yeah. I think this is her.
Hope so. It is. It's official.
I'm Gina.
Are you okay sitting there? Okay, we have forum. So. Start as soon as she sits here.
Okay.
Where'd she go? Candace? Yes. You look very tired. So for everyone who's here, we're recording a meeting. And we've been on YouTube all this.
It goes on YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, see, I should dress better.
Well, it's on YouTube and it's being recorded and we have an AI transcript. So part of having an AI transcript means when you speak, and now you need to, if you're in the room, you need to say your name. This is Laura speaking, because otherwise everything we say in the room comes out as UNNC president. So we can't track who's speaking. So that's not true for anybody who's listening online. You just need to speak because it records who you are. But anyway, so I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Michael, who is on the Zoom meeting, is our vice president and would normally chair this meeting, but because, I don't know, do you think you can do it, Michael, or you want me to do it?
If you don't mind, it would probably be easier if you did it.
Okay, thank you. So, so Laura's gonna chair the meeting. So officially, I call the meeting of UNNC's Executive Committee to order. We are essentially a subcommittee of the board. It consists of our 5 officers, 2 of whom cannot be present tonight, who are out of state. So it's just quorum is comprised of Candace, our treasurer, say hi. Hello. Michael, our vice president, Laura, our president. So I'm going to share the agenda and then get to some housekeeping. So first, I'd like to know if everyone online can see this agenda.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So here's the agenda. We're going to welcome, which I just did, call to order, review of the agenda, and then roll call. I think for 3 people, we won't need to actually do an official roll call. I think we're good. And then we have general public comments and announcements, maximum of 1 to 2 minutes per speaker. And essentially we're anticipating maximum of 10 minutes total for general public comments. And these are for items not on our agenda. Under general public comments, we cannot respond, we cannot have discussion. It's just comments. We might violate that a little bit, but not a lot. And then we have a couple of funding requests. We have one from My Serenity Sanctuary requesting a grant for $2,500. One from the Los Angeles Fire Department. And at the moment, they're just requesting money, but we're going to have to talk about how to massage that. But they're requesting support for the annual Fire Service Day, which is on May 9th.
That's not the dinner.
No, this is not a battalion dinner. This is May 9th, citywide is Fire Service Day. But it used to be random, I'm getting ahead of myself, it used to be random at fire stations that wanted to do it. But it seems recently, probably because of budget constraints, the central leadership at LAFD decided where the official fire service day events are. And they're not at any and every. And then also we need to do a review of our upcoming UNNC expenditures, because we've got a lot of things in the hopper, just kind of see how much money we really have. And then we have executive committee business, which will build upon that item C funding request, because then Candace and I'll probably engage in a very detailed discussion of money. But I did I made notes.
I appreciate.
Yeah, and then we have under President's report, a possible community impact statement regarding copper wire theft of street lights and a proposed increased tax assessment. Michael may have a report, hasn't altered by much though, Michael, of board member attendance and training updates. Item 5, I have not received from Elizabeth Fenner a final letter for us to approve here, so we'll probably table that just via online, email. Talk about agenda items for our March 26th governing board meeting, and then old business, including approval of any other letters that have been referred to executive officers, new business, follow up to previous agenda items, et cetera, et cetera. So that is our agenda. And going back to it for a moment, so we did the welcome, we did the call to order, we reviewed the agenda, and we have a roll call. So what I wanted to say before we say it, I know a number of you are here perhaps on a single item because of Facebook posts and maybe some other communications went out that we're having a meeting and we were discussing this item, but it's not on the agenda. So we can take some comments, but we're not going to be able to have, if that's, since I don't know why you're here, if that's why you're here. Before we do that, we do have one announcement, which is that this coming Saturday, February 21, we have a big event at Leslie Shaw Park from 11 to 4. And that is essentially it's the 10th anniversary, not of the establishment of the park, but of the re-establishment of the park 10 years ago this month, and of the redesign and relaunch of the park. And also a celebration, a part and parcel of it is of Leslie and Ann Shaw, who are both trailblazing African-American pioneers. The park is named for Leslie Shaw. The Shaw family will be present. And it's a community health and resources fair. So
I have flyers if you'd like.
Yeah.
oh, you do have fire.
Yeah.
Sandra gave them to you?
Yeah, I've been asking them.
Yay. Because I gave away all of mine.
Yeah.
So
There's some up there and then I have some.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so that's the announcement. Public comments on any item not on tonight's agenda. So normally we would take comments first in the room and then in the Zoom. So does anybody in the room have a comment? No, okay.
Or I guess, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I should explain, we are subject to the Brown Act. And one of the things that means is that we don't use the chat to make comments. We can use the chat to say, oh my God, I can't raise my hand. I need to be called on. But we make our comments out loud. And in answer to your question.
I have the same question as Jeff, so I'm happy to ask it out loud.
Okay, it's fine. The topic of, you said traffic. It's not traffic per se. It's the answer is yes, and it's going to be on multiple agendas. This is probably a project that's 5 to 10 years going to be in the making. This is
What's the question?
And so the question is, UNNC has been working on 2 different things in a kind of fast track. It feels like that it's a fast track just to get to a place, and then it'll be a very slow track. So one of those 2 things is a master greening plan. And we don't know fully what shape it's going to take, but what it's addressing is park space, park and recreation kind of space, other kinds of green space, first, last mile to train stops, so making the pedestrian access to transit stops pleasant, greening up schools, defining what the heck greening even means,
Right.
shade structures, heat spots. We're really in the beginning of a big master plan. We ended up having a hyper focus at Exposition Place near Crenshaw because Council District 10 did a motion at City Council to potentially purchase a Metro-owned small parcel, turn it into a park at Exposition Place in 9th Avenue thereabouts. And that leads right into it's more than an alley. We're now calling it a paseo, the train station. So we ended up with a hyper focus on that, maybe more immediately. We're just kind of then responding because it turns out, I'm sorry to keep talking about this, turns out that Metro has gotten funding not for first last mile, but for a Metro, a hub at Expo and Crenshaw. We don't even know yet what that means. So this is a whole big thing, but we decided at our last public meeting at the environmental committee that there's no way we can really proceed without going out to not just all the block clubs and neighborhood associations, but somehow pulling in the business community through the Pico Byzantine, it's on Pico Boulevard, the Byzantine something bid business improvement district, and the Washington Boulevard and the Jefferson Boulevard community. So this is not something that's going to happen in a month or 3 months. Ditto, there's some traffic mitigation. So there's 3 streets that have multiple car collisions and fatalities. One is Arlington, one is Jefferson, and one is Adams. I'm guessing if we looked at Washington and Pico, we'd see Pico has fatalities as well. City is doing a Vision Zero project on Pico Boulevard, already scheduled from Figueroa to Crenshaw. They presented to us. We had no input into it. And we're looking now at ideas and possibilities on the other corridors. So that's where we are. What we are really looking for is somebody to chair our UNNC at the moment, no chair, it's defunct. We have a standing subcommittee called Transit and Mobility. And we don't have a chair. And the unique thing about the way UNNC has its committees, accepting executive, is that we appoint a chair or co-chairs. After that, anyone in attendance at the meeting is a member of that committee for the duration of the meeting. They can fully participate, make motions, vote, so long as they're a stakeholder. And then we take things up at the board. We are looking for a replacement chair so we can schedule monthly meetings, which we've been unable to do without, because I am not willing to chair another meeting. We need a chair. So we do have that scheduled. We hope to get those scheduled, but yes, of course, we have to go out to the various block clubs and groups in the area for these various initiatives. So yes, that's a way of saying yes and a way of saying hopefully, because the hopefully part is if we can get a chair for that committee. So think about it if that's why you're here.
What does time commitment look like for a chair?
If a person was the chair of a committee, and if it met monthly, that person has to, first of all, create an agenda in a timely manner once a month. And by that, I mean, do research, follow council motions, become knowledgeable, respond to things and figure out what's my agenda. And they have to figure that out on time, right? Because Laura doesn't want to do that either. And then they need to conduct the meeting just like I am. So we'll need to learn some of this technology. And that's, say, 2-3 hours. not really a 3-hour meeting, but thinking about, having agendas present. So for public comment, I talked too much. Did you, to those of you who were here hoping to talk, did you want to raise your hand and tell us, why you're here? Or did I answer your questions?
I think I'm good for now. Thank you. I appreciate all that info.
Okay.
I have a quick question. Is there a way that we can get on the mailing list so we know like what's on the agenda in the future and those sorts of things?
Yes, if you would, and this I can put in the chat also, but you can just sign up on our homepage at UNNC.org. And I will put that into the chat. And it is on the sign up for our e-blasts are on the homepage, but not way at the top. You have to scroll down a bit. And we try not to overwhelm you. In fact, we can't overwhelm you because we're on MailChimp and we're only allowed to send out X number of emails a month anyway. The other thing you can do if you sign up that you still don't get, unfortunately, you say, wait a minute, I'm not receiving anything. Also on our website is the calendar, along the top, you can see the word calendar. And when you pull it up for the month, you'll see the standing committees are posted and getting, 72 hours or more away from the meeting. The agenda itself will be posted. We try to be on time the 72 hours. Third way, if you have a copy of tonight's agenda, the city itself allows you to sign up to get hours in anybody else's agendas. But the link for that sign up is on the agenda. It's not on the one I printed out here. You have to have the whole 6-page agenda. So I'll show you. Share again. So if you pull down this one agenda from our website, you can go to, where can we go? Sorry, have to find it. Okay, I'm highlighting the paragraph in yellow. No, I'm not. I'm showing it to you just in the blue if you can see that. But it says you can sign up at the city's website at https://www.lacity.org/government/subscribe agendas notifications /again subscribe other meetings, agendas, and documents. So, but you could pull down this agenda from our website or any of our agendas from the website and then go to that link. And that would allow you to not rely on us and instead to rely on the city itself, because their notification system, they're mandated under state law to get these posted a minimum of 72 hours. Okay. Hi, Casey, how are you? This is Laura speaking.
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Okay. Are there any other questions, comments, announcements under public comment? In case you didn't hear this, the Jefferson Boulevard, or for that matter, Arlington or Adams Boulevard's traffic mitigation efforts is not on tonight's agenda. There was a miscommunication by somebody somewhere about that.
Okay, well, that's why I was here. When is it on the next meeting or?
We don't have it scheduled, but we plan to have it scheduled quite a bit. So we're looking for a chair for the Mobility and Transportation Committee. But given the interest, I'll probably schedule it to a Planning and Zoning Committee meeting mid-March, so a month from now. It won't be on the March 4th agenda because we have some other items on that already.
Perfect, thank you.
And I'm saying probably because if we manage to get a chair before that, it'll be on a different date.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm so sorry because I'm here for the same reason. I do have another question. And I know
Sure.
you say you're trying to look at other groups to get involved in this. Do you know if WANA is involved in the conversation?
Juana's involved in the general conversation about Jefferson because they're one of the players, if that's the right word. If you drive down Jefferson, there's a huge amount of construction because the Jefferson Beautiful project was extended or expanded all the way to Western. So Juana was definitely involved with that. And Richard Parks has told us that they're trying to get it essentially to march up Normandy as well. It seems Western is off limits from any of these efforts because it's on the city's master plan to become, not in our lifetimes, more like a freeway.
Interesting. And the reason I'm asking that is because I'm on your website now and looking at the neighborhoods, and I'm actually right outside of your region. So I don't know.
So you work with Tanisha.
Yes, I go to those meetings often.
Right. So Jefferson Beautiful, which is also at this point Jefferson Bicycle Lanes, Jefferson,
Right.
That whole project was, Juana was involved with that as far as I know.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And for those who don't know what Juana is, it's the Charles Victor Hall Tract, which is from Adams to Jefferson, Western to Normandy. And they were also Community Redevelopment Agency project area Normandy 5. So they've had structure for decades. And after the CRA went away, they formed a neighborhood association called West Adams Neighborhood Association, just so they could be confused with all the other West Adams neighborhood associations. I'm joking. WANA, but unlike so many other neighborhood associations, they have a chair who's extraordinarily organized and smart enough to have block captains in every block. And so they have lots of meetings, right? Look, they have housing meetings and this kind of meeting and that kind of meeting. They're very, very engaged, which is why I'm pretty sure Jefferson Beautiful did not proceed without Juana's involvement. I could be wrong. All right. Can we take up our agenda? Are we good? I think we're good. Okay. All right. If there's no other general public comments and announcements, I'd like to move on to agenda item 3, funding requests. And we have a NPG request, which is a grant for a nonprofit organization for My Serenity Sanctuary. And Gina is here to explain it.
Explain it.
Explain it. And if you'll, when you talk, say this is.
Okay.
And I will share the grant request.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Gina Davis. I am the founder and CEO of My Serenity Sanctuary. We focus on self-care and well-being, primarily for Black women and girls everywhere. And on Saturday, September 19th, we are having our annual self-care summit, and which will be held at the Peace Awareness Labyrinth and Gardens in the West Adams District from 10 to 6. I passed out to the members here our overview, which we're going to have speakers and workshops and the Labyrinth Walk. If you've never been to the Peace Awareness Labyrinth and Gardens, they have a beautiful Labyrinth Walk and an extraordinary garden. And so they have opened up their space to us to do workshops, and we're gonna have vendors, and we're gonna have speakers. I made a request for Holly Mitchell to attend and open up the summit and been talking to other community leaders to be a part of it. It's going to be a wonderful event. It's open to everyone. It is our second annual. The first time we did it online during the pandemic. So this will be our first in-person event. It's going to be huge. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be fun for our community. And we are asking for funding support for the Self-Care Summit. We are trying to come up with the money, the down payment or the money itself to pay for the space. And we're asking for $2,500 to go towards the down payment of the space, the Peace Awareness Labyrinth and Garden. Should I tell how much the total is, or doesn't it?
Well, it will matter at some point to our board of how much, and you will need to put it into the application. So we're gonna talk about the application too.
Okay, sure.
The technical things on the application.
Sure.
But yes, you could tell us, this is Laura speaking.
Right.
What, you can tell us what the amount you're gonna be spending total.
The total amount for the space itself will be $10,000, which they've given us an amazing deal because normally it would be north of $15,000. So they are they're very excited for us having our event there, and we're also looking at.
Does that include the food?
No, except for it doesn't include the food, but we're gonna have a continental breakfast. And then we're planning to have food trucks for people to purchase food during that day, but we will have, snacks throughout, things like that. But it's an educational program where people are learning all about self-care, well-being, mental health, financial wellness. We'll have sound baths, we'll have meditation, we'll have yoga, movement classes, and also, again, speakers talking about our mental, emotional health, our heart health, maternity health, just a variety of different things that women and families. It's primarily for women. Of course, we invite men to come out for the event as well, and so it's going to be an amazing program.
So on one, regardless of how our board or even this committee ultimately votes about how much money, on the filling out of this form, the right-hand column needs to have the totals. Meaning you're asking from UNNC $2,500.
Right.
But if the total projected cost for the venue is $10,000, then the right-hand column here where it says total projected cost, you would write the $10,000.
Mm-hmm. That's for the payment for the space. Right. Okay.
And then right below that, you would write refreshments requested of NC 0, and then an estimate of what the other costs are. So in other words, you put in the other costs in the right-hand column, because for our city clerk may or may not care. Candace is looking at me like, why?
I was like, yeah, because Candace is the one telling me fill out the application.
Yes, but this is a different situation where they are paying for other things in a large way. So they want to show that they're not asking UNNC to be the event sponsor. It's because there's a lot of other money that's going to be spent. So those are all estimates that you should put in.
Will that impact?
For a board vote, it will.
A board vote, it might,
The city clerk won't care.
the city. So
when you say if they would care,
So
rather
our
than.
board would want to know that we're only paying a small portion.
Oh, well, that's fine. You're not paying the whole thing.
Right.
And that's where we're just scraping it up.
Right, and if another neighborhood another question somewhere is there another neighborhood council paying, and if that.
I haven't reached out to
So
any other.
the answer then would be no.
Yeah,
but
I haven't asked you that.
Well, obviously, you're based in UNNC and the venue is in UNNC, so in this case, it doesn't necessarily make sense.
To go to other, yeah.
Right. So, and then the other thing is start date has to be after our board meets. which would be
for-
3/5/26,
Oh, okay.
not 3/1. Yeah, it has to be Thursday, 3/5.
Okay, no.
You can fix this.
Okay, yeah.
So there's
one
there's
reason you're here.
literally adjustments until the clerk says yes.
Well,
So,
there's
like,
adjustments certainly until.
Starting
Candace
with
uploads
before,
it.
but then like animal, if there's something else, before she says no, she'll say, hey,
Well,
what's this?
except for we
But-
learned last May on the date thing, that's an automatic turn down.
Well. There's room for fixing things
Yeah.
before it becomes.
So can I call you and we go through it again?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I mean, in other words, it's just that the start date has to be after we vote. Can't be before we vote.
Yeah, so we vote, the
On the
meeting is
5th.
on the 5th.
Right, so that 3/1.
We need to change it.
Yeah.
Okay, so change it to 3/6.
To 6, yeah. And then the April 30th is still fine. Unless we want to give ourselves
I don't think we need a longer.
runway.
Well, when are
The sooner we get it, the better. Yeah.
I don't think we need a longer runway. I mean, in other words, they approve things pretty quickly.
They're looking for, if we're able to put down half, they will be happy with that. I'm trying to get the whole amount put down, but
Right.
get $2,500 from you and then I'm trying to
Right.
get $2,500 from somebody else.
Okay, so the other thing is, I mean, I was commenting about item 6B, deposit per venue, and that you need to go to the right-hand side. But if you look at item 8, now that I've scrolled down, is the implementation of this program, which is about contingent on any other factors or sources or funding. Well, you wrote no, but it's actually yes, because you have to get the rest of the money.
Right.
So is that correct? If she writes no,
I can't see.
well, it's the one where it says source of other funding. Number 8, source of other funding.
Specific group. I think that's still in progress, though. That's kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of it is.
But you can say in progress. Well,
Yeah.
some of it is your own money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not, I don't mean in your pocket.
Right.
Well, is the total grant funding requesting this application, that's just out.
That's just ours.
Yeah.
That's number 6.
I've seen people skip that, but unless they're being part of.
Well,
The part that says source of other funding, as long as it
well,
addresses.
in other words, the total project is gonna cost far more than 20.
Yes,
So you just need to make that transfer. And we're a small piece of it, but a really important piece of it, which you could say in your narrative, because without securing the space, you cannot have the event. So this is just securing.
Yes, this is just the deposit, that's.
So there's just what's that called? Massage,
couple.
couple of massages. So we haven't gotten down to brass tacks of,
Well, I don't want to do anything to make them say no.
oh, I know that, but, okay, now I need to figure out how to get the heck out of here. I'm gonna stop the share so we can have a discussion. Where did Michael go? Michael and Candace, did we want to discuss what we want to recommend to the board?
Okay, so I was doing math on our MPGs. And to date, for MPG applications, we've committed 6,000.
Okay, that includes the
Yes.
rediscover.
And yes. And so, so we've committed $6,000 of initial budget of 12,890, which means we have 6,800.
Okay, so if we also want to do something for Fire Service Day, and if it were to be an MPG, we'll discuss that on the next item, we would have enough for both.
Yeah.
Lots of ifs. So,
Can they not? Well, we'll talk about it at that. But yeah, you all can definitely do an MPG. For sure. Because the MPG is
we have enough money, we have enough.
we have
funds.
enough funds in the MPG, and now that we're seeing it's kind of cleaner than some of the outreach things that we're doing.
Correct, correct. But, and are you good with this MPG?
Yeah.
I mean, you help.
Yeah, I mean, except, Laura's right, I think this year, the clerk has been going through things with a finer tooth comb. Yeah, that is very true.
Well, and not only that, it was horrible, we got 3 MPGs rejected last May. When it was too late to fix them, because there was a deadline, so there was no way for us to fix what was wrong, and what was wrong, and one of them was the start date.
Yeah.
The start date before the meeting,
Yeah.
okay.
Right, so I wanna say lesson learned,
Mhm.
don't wanna do that again,
Mhm.
don't wanna have to go back to the board a second time. So I would make that change, but you're okay, I'm just saying, Michael, what do you think, 2,500, okay by you?
I mean, so certainly I'm fine with presenting it to the board like that. I think in general, they've been a little bit more reluctant to give out larger amounts, but I think we could certainly go to the board with the recommendation of 2,500 and we'll let them adjust accordingly.
I think the argument is, if you have to put down 5, and this is half of half, monetarily it makes sense, it makes sense because 25 is half. And so it's not like an arbitrary.
Right, I'm not asking for it, yeah,
So
and I'm not asking for the entire.
But I think it would also be good for our board to know where the other half is coming from. If you would know that by March 5th,
Mhm.
so that we wouldn't be.
We would have it,
No, I understand, but they're gonna say to you, where's it coming from? And you're gonna say,
I have it
in our bank account.
in our bank account at One United. Mhm.
So you can say from the organization.
From the organization itself, yes.
Right. Just because they don't want. Once the city writes you a check, it's not like we can get it back.
Yeah, well, we're
Yes,
gonna do what we're supposed to do.
Right, so
That's all we,
Okay, well, I think we're looking then for a motion.
I move that we recommend the MPG amount for $2,000 for my $2,500 for My Serenity Sanctuary for their annual retreat,
self-care summit.
self-care summit. That was really
You wanna start over?
Yeah. All right, so let's get it. And I move that we move the MPG recommendation for $2,500 for My Serenity Sanctuary Self-Care Summit for the down payment for the venue. For the event.
To the governing board.
To the government.
Candace moves.
I will second that.
All right, so all in favor, this is just by hand, Laura. Okay, we're still moving. Okay, the next one is the fire department, LAFD.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, absolutely.
Should I come to the governing board?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and when is that date?
March 5th,
That's great. Thank you.
Thursday, March 5th.
At 7:00?
Yes, so I mean, this item won't be at 7 o'clock. Obviously, because we have to start the meeting, but I will be trying to keep the meeting much shorter than usual because we will have had a board retreat and another agenda. So a board meeting and retreat on Saturday, February 28th, but we're not gonna do funding requests at that retreat.
Okay,
So.
but I should come to the March
5.
And that's gonna be here at the South Seas House.
It's not going to be here at the South Seas House. It will be at Gramercy Apartments. Official address is 1856 South Wilton Place, but that's the building on the corner of Wilton and Washington Boulevard between Gramercy and Wilton. And the meeting room, the door opens on Washington.
Gramercy, it's called Gramercy Apartments.
And you'll get the agenda.
Okay, and it's Wilton Place at Washington.
Correct. But it's a big building, it goes all the way from Gramercy to Wilton.
Oh, wow.
On the
Okay.
north side.
Okay, I just wanna make sure I put it on mine.
Thank you.
You are welcome. You know, I have not learned how to use the share. Okay. So I'm going back now to item 3B, funding request B, LAFD, which is the fire department, requests $1,680 to support its annual fire service day on Saturday, May 9. Specifically, this request is for Station 94, located at 4470 Coliseum. So that's a little ways outside of UNNC. And this is the principal station and the focal site representing the fire department's South Bureau for Fire Service Day. And so the request is for two kinds of expenses. One is the porta potties rental, and the other is expenses at Restaurant Depot, which I believe means that's where they're buying food, because they usually make hamburgers like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't, and let me just be clear, it seems fairly clear that we can't fund it in the way they are asking for it. But which I'll explain in a minute. So as I started to explain earlier in this meeting, Fire Service Day in the past, it still is, it's a citywide event. And in the past, any fire station could just say, we're going to do a fire service day at our station. But the department as a whole has kind of pulled it back, and it takes the job over of specifying where fire service day events can happen. So in the past, we've had fire service day at the fire station on 7th Avenue inside of UNNC, and we have spent usually between $3,000 and $4,000. This one's outside of UNNC. We have two fire stations inside of UNNC. Grace, you is contacting them to see if either one is also doing something on that day, just FYI, our public safety co-chair. So they're asking, I've got this up on the screen, and I'm gonna do this again so that I can, so it's an open house for local residents to visit their fire station, to meet the members, tour the inside. Kids get into the fire trucks. So all stations are open to the public on Fire Service Day, like I said, but this is a focal station. And last year, Empowerment Congress West was the primary supporter for Fire Service Day at this fire station.
Okay.
Council District 10 is also involved in it. And what they want us to fund, and this is where it's difficult, they would like us to spend $1,000, help them with $1,000 at Restaurant Depot, and $680 on these Andy guns. So I spoke to Anna, and she provided us two options. We can sign on as an event co-sponsor. I know Candace just dropped her head because that would involve us needing to put in.
This is in May.
May 9th. It would involve us having to put in an event request.
Okay, we still have some time.
We have time. Oh, we're not, this is February, we're in February. And, we have time to do it if that's how we want to do it. That is how, she said, Empowerment Congress West did do it last year.
Okay.
They became a co-sponsor of the event. The other option that wasn't mentioned to us by the fire department was to give an NPG to the whatever version of the Friends of the Fire Department. There is a friend, there's an organization. I don't know which we would prefer. I think our bigger question is this the right amount of money from us for a fire station not within our footprint?
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So I just did more math. And the pending request from Serenity Sanctuaries,
25.
Plus this one, minus what we have left. If we were to grant both of them at request cost, we would have $2,710.96 left in the MPG.
Okay, and that I keep asking this.
Yes.
And Rediscover is already on hold. So this is what's left. And I mean, I'm good with that. I just don't know if I'm good with, or if the board is good with fire service day not within our footprint. Even
That
though
was my question,
but it's-
but Grace is gonna find out if the one that's in the footprint is doing.
or the two, either one or both.
Yeah.
Fire station 26 is the one on Western and 20th, thereabouts. I don't know that they've ever done a fire service day because they're not, it's really difficult to access that station. It's on Western by the freeway,
And then the one.
on Seventh Avenue. I don't know what number it is. That's the one that used to have a big fire service day. They closed the street. And it was a big deal. We've got from years ago, great photos of lots of little kids with the big fire hats, on them and with big grins on their mouths. I mean, I think fire service day is really important, but I wouldn't want to be, Laura, as a leader at UNNC, wouldn't want to be a co-event sponsor unless we really were also willing to put an effort behind promotion, and I think we would need to table there, and Anna did say we would have to table there. So we have to commit that day we're at the fire station.
Well, I won't be, because that's graduation. But I could do all the background stuff to do it. But I also think first we need to find out if they're doing these selective stations, if this is the nearest station that's doing it and none of the ones in our boundary are doing it,
Right.
then I think we can justify it. If there are stations.
Well, it does say that they are
that they're the same.
yeah, for the South Bureau, and we're in South Bureau.
Yeah. Oh, I think then you can make the argument if the ones directly in our footprint are not doing it this year, but there are select ones and it's the closest one. That makes sense.
And the others haven't asked us yet, but Grace is gonna contact them. So we should have the answer before the board.
Yeah, or we can, I've seen it where they adjust and say, well, maybe not 60 and 80, but 1,000. Or like if we look at the list and say, okay, what do you really need us to cover?
Right.
We can, the 1,000 is for the porta potties, for the food.
Food.
Yeah, so we can maybe say, well, maybe we want to do both, but we can cover one because it's not in our area, like they're.
Right, but also what we cannot do is make a third-party vendor payment. So for example, if they want us to pay $1,000 for food, we have to do an event request that we're paying freaking $1,000 for the food, and then I have to go with them and pay for it. Which is okay. I mean, the Restaurant Depot is not far from here.
It sounds more effective. Like if for ease of process to maybe just have them do an MPG to the fire, the front fire bureau. Can we reach out and tell them?
I can reach out and ask them if that's feasible. I mean, there may be a fire department policy that makes it infeasible.
Okay.
I know there was, but I don't know what's feasible. I heard what Anna had to say, but it also seems to me that if that was feasible, that would have been what Empowerment Congress West would have done last year, because they hate doing events just like we do. So it may not be feasible.
Okay, well, we can ask.
We can ask.
And all they can do is say no, and then we have enough time to put in the request for the event.
So for a motion for our board, do we want to, and Michael weigh in if you can, he's on the phone. Do we want to set aside this amount of money for fire service day? I mean, what are we?
I see what you're saying. How do we?
We could.
I think the discussion would just be supporting the firefighters day for this amount of money. And then the process in which the money gets spent will be TBD.
Right, and if we have to do an NPG, we could do it at the April.
Yeah.
If we have to event request, we can.
I can just submit that.
Right. I mean, we should probably vote it in. If we're gonna do a motion, we should probably do a motion to support up to 1,680 as an event. Well, we should probably check with the fire department, so we have the right answer when we walk into the March meeting. So I'm amending my thoughts. I'd rather have the right answer on March 5th
Mhm.
as to the methodology, because if it should be an MPG, I'd rather have an MPG for that meeting and not wait till the last.
Okay. So the answer is, we recommend amount. And then we check in with Grace before the meeting to see which way makes sense.
Correct, so the motion could be that we recommend $1,680 for Fire Service Day in support of Fire Service Day on May 9th. 2026. Whether it is an event co-sponsor or NPG to be determined before the agenda is prepared for the March 5 meeting. That would be my motion. There's a second.
Second.
And Michael, did you kind of catch all of that? Because I know you suddenly had a phone call.
No, I've been here the whole time. I'm not sure. I think perhaps I would just change landscape orientation of the phone.
Okay,
But yes.
so are you okay with what I just said?
Yes.
What's the actual event? Did you send a fire?
It's called Fire Service Day.
Fire.
It's citywide Fire Service Day.
Fire Service Day.
Yes. So I did ask our funding clerk at the city clerk's office is named Anna. And I did ask Anna, could we just transfer funds to the fire department, which is how it was always done in the past.
No.
Not anymore. No. It's not feasible. We've changed them. So. Okay, so I guess we're gonna vote.
Yes.
Who seconded that? You did? Candace seconded. All right, all in favor? Michael, yes? Okay, all right. Well, right, so new deadlines, by the way, for agendas, alas. The agenda for March 5. Dunn has another mandatory day off day. I'm not sure, I don't know, but I feel it's the Monday before March 5. They sent us an email. I don't know if it's the 27th of February or if it's March 2nd. I don't know. So we should assume that we need the answer to this actually before the retreat. Yes, in a week. We need the answer as to if there's other fire service days. And
Okay.
also if
Who do we ask them?
well, Grace is finding out if there's other. I need to just remind her that she needs to do that. And then I need to find out by contacting this fire chief who contacted me. You know, is it even feasible for us to do an NPG? And if he says no, for their own reasons, which could be similar to the Parks Department, that organization that takes NPGs may take money off of them for their own administration.
Yeah.
In which case, that won't be, in which case, maybe someone other than you or me could be the event chair. Maybe Grace, well, not Grace, maybe Corinne will do it. Okay. So let's move on to C, review of upcoming UNNC expenditures. So Candace, I just kind of took a look at upcoming, meaning stuff that we're paying for even this week. So for output, so Rediscover was $1,200. You've got that. The master green plan, I just paid for the materials that we've created now, and it's just under $400.
It says expenses, so this is all under the credit card.
I'm about to give you credit card and some other things.
Okay.
So credit card, $400 for that. The outreach materials I have not been billed for at Print Depot, but Probably about $700. It could be less.
That's for.
Printed. The brochures for Leslie Shaw, the flyers, the postcards.
Is that under the Leslie Shaw, because that was
Mhm.
25? Okay.
Yeah, it's within the $2,500, but I'm just giving you actuals, not guess. We had guesses before. Now I've got actuals.
Okay, so let's do this. So I can keep track. Okay, so.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm
Yeah, so,
trying to
hold
give
on.
it to
So
you.
these are the expenditures that we're making for the event on Friday.
Well, master green plan is a separate budget. But I just paid that bill and it's just under $400. I don't know if he's gonna also buy pens or crayons or anything like that.
So. Okay.
And then
now-
separately, the outreach materials, which were the postcards,
Mhm.
the flyers. And then we're also printing brochures that will be handed out during the event in English and in Spanish about the Shaws.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's another. Have not been built, so I'm now guessing $700. Could
Okay,
be less. Hopefully it is less.
and this is for the event on Friday.
Correct, and it was within your budget of
Mhm.
2,500. The kids corner doodahs, crayons, chalk, glittery thises and other glittery that's, and
Mhm.
you know, all that stuff was $360.
Okay, that's.
That's not terrible. Yeah, it's a little high, it's a little above what we were gonna spend, but we'll be able to use leftovers at the spring extravaganza, eggs extravaganza. But I'm just giving you numbers.
Okay, got it.
The rental for the potteries
500.
is $500. The food. So you had about $500 in the budget for food. But Sandra wants to use the unspent money to buy more food because she's suddenly now worried that the volunteers won't have enough to eat. In other words, she wants to spend the whole 25.
Got it.
Open, sesame.
Okay, so this is the one that we turned in.
And it had a lot of snick snacks, right?
It did.
But she wants some
Water, popcorn, granola bars, fruit snacks. And a contingency fee.
of $500.
So
Right.
everything came up to right under 25.
Right. So she would like me, against my better judgment, to also get Subway sandwiches. Which we don't have in our budget, but at least we know the Subway that's approved. But
There was, but I feel like we took it out to make.
See,
space
there
for
was a
contingency.
reason why we took it out, which was Emma said. We have to offer it to anyone who's present and not just the volunteers. We can't really feed only volunteers. Even though they somehow allowed us to only feed volunteers at the tree planting. So I don't understand why there's a difference. But the only thing I can think of that would be approvable would be Subway, because
We already have.
exactly. So I don't know if this is even gonna be feasible.
So, or maybe then there's more stuff in the kids' corner than we actually got. So the kids' corner,
How much, the kids' corner would have added to about 320. I've overspent it by a very small amount.
oh, never mind, the clay station.
Yeah. Anyway, but these are these are total numbers, so we probably are gonna be spending the full 2,500 is what I'm trying to tell you. That's what she wants to do. So in addition to that, separate in addition, we budgeted $500. We voted at the last meeting for South Seas House,
For the
spring extravaganza. And that has been approved by Anna already.
Okay.
We are having in June an emergency preparedness workshop. We haven't approved the dollars yet, but it will be about $400. Because there will be wrapped pastries, coffee service, and Subway sandwiches, so it might even be 500. But we haven't voted for this yet, but we're looking at what we could be doing this year. Board meetings, refreshments, we did some quick math, that's looking at another $500 for the year. Public storage, we're looking at another $1,800 at the end of this fiscal year. Zumwinkle.com we haven't paid her a dime yet.
Yes,
Correct?
that is true, because they're still back and forth about.
Oh, shoot, are they? This didn't work? I thought it was okay. Thought the last email was everything's good.
I will reread the email, and if so.
Well, she's gonna get paid, we think. I mean, it's gotta be in what you're
Yeah.
calculating that we're gonna be spending this year.
Right, but.
This is our website. Person. Cause I think it's $3,600, right?
Alright,
Anybody having fun yet?
the internet doesn't like me right now.
Okay,
but-
well, I don't think it matters, whatever's in the budget, we have spent 0 so far, but we need to plan on spending it.
Yes,
That's the only point I was making. We have also not yet paid anything, but we're about to be hit, the automatic payments are about to start. On GoDaddy and all that other stuff, the first one's gonna hit in about Friday. But we have, all the back office stuff, so GoDaddy, I mean, whatever it is that we use for the website. Between now and April,
this one that all renews.
exactly, and the first renewal is end of this week. I have also not received anything from the Postal Service for our PO box, but that should be hitting really soon too. And whatever else you remember in the budget, but I feel like we haven't spent a lot of our money, but we're about
But
to.
we're about to. And
I don't have any more ands.
if the internet connects itself.
Yeah, I don't have any more ands, but
Today,
I'm way under.
For our office funds, that's like public storage and all that stuff. So far, we have spent $3,815 out of well, I'd have to look at
Out of 20,000, but I don't think that's a
roughly
good way.
20.
Yeah, but that includes Ann.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know, but we need to, I think by the March meeting, we need to know really how much money we have left. And the
Yeah.
reason is we might be able to transfer more into MPGs or not. So we need to know. Okay, it's 8:05. So, I'm not thinking of any other, well, I will tell you that I really underestimated on board meeting. I said 500, so that's like $100 a meeting.
That's probably more.
It's probably. I mean, last month I spent 70. So that's less on pizza. It just depends what I'm,
So 700.
maybe 7. Cause I probably need to, for the retreat, spend a little more, because people will be really hangry.
How is the planning?
Oh, it's where it was, we're okay. Don't wanna talk about
That's
that.
okay. we can do that
Don't want to talk about that. Where it was, I'm still not sure if we're here or
At the
Gramercy. We're not at the library, we're either here or Gramercy. Okay, executive committee business, so the question is, moving to treasurer's report, is, are there any other budget updates or adjustments? I don't think you're prepared at all.
I mean, no, I think, breaking out these events, because outreach is harder to track. MPG is that one amount and it comes out and it's that way. But when we do outreach and we have to charge different things, it doesn't show up as that. So like, I could take a picture of your list and then like group,
Well, I can hand you my list,
Yeah.
because I don't need it.
you don't want, yeah,
No, I don't want to keep, no.
yeah, you do this.
We have the list,
And then that way I can bunch it, cause I work off of the larger, like.
because you're a math person and I'm not.
We
You may think I'm a math person because I can keep this in my head, but in the end, I don't have an Excel spreadsheet that I know how to use.
Yeah, I think, yeah, so. The outreach, we're doing more outreach
Yes.
events this year than before, and so now we have to group them under the larger.
Correct. But I also want to say that emergency prep meeting, I mean, that number, we haven't even voted on it. I've told Corinne and Grace that they need to have gone out and done all the math so they know what they're asking for. You know, because I just made it
And we
up.
still have flashlights and crank radios.
Oh, right. No, we don't have, we may or may not have to print materials. They need to determine that.
Okay.
I mean, it's a workshop. They're hoping to have 40 people at the workshop.
So you might need.
We might need more food, but we certainly might need workbooks
Yeah.
that I don't know about. And they need, you know, in other words, I kind of sat with them in their meeting and said, you need this, you need this, you need to know the numbers to give to the board. And ideally give to the board on March 5th.
So that we can have the event.
Because it is an event. And then
Starts to wrap.
And then Anna said, depending on what we tell them, so we need to turn it in to the clerk sooner rather than later, they will decide if we also need event insurance. Which would add
Because you have to get the state.
right. So we don't, I'm hoping not, because it's in our regular meeting, it's at Gramercy. Just saying, hoping not, but we don't know that yet.
Yep.
So. But, so I am done with that, so. We can move on from treasurer's report to, of course, I just gave you my agenda copy, but what's the next? I'll give it to you at the end of the meeting, so sorry, I think I'm up next. It's a possible community impact statement on copper wire theft. So, there. So basically, city council has actually been doing a whole lot of motions of late about all the street lights that have had their copper stolen.
Is that why it's so dark? Cause
Oh,
I
yes.
noticed around the city.
Oh,
It's just like lights out.
Everywhere.
bonanza, But like everywhere, it's
Every-
crazy.
Oh, no, it's even crazier than you think, because there's a year-long wait for
Oh,
repairs.
Wow.
Yeah, because they don't have enough. So the motion that was shared with me, I've looked up several others, but the most recent motion, it's not even in our agenda packet, indicates that the city has 220,000 streetlights with 400 different styles of lights, some of which are still the old historic ones, most of which are not. They're saying some assets in the field nearly a century old. In metal and concrete poles alone, the Bureau has invested over $500 million throughout the course of its existence. Anyway, at the moment, 1 in 10 streetlights start, which is a lot, and it's due to the ongoing copper theft. And they're saying in the last 3 years, but I can tell you in the last 3 weeks, there have been multiple council motions to set aside special funds to do stuff in their own districts, to repair the lights, to find overtime monies to repair it, and they're saying in this motion that of the 250,000 overall streetlights, only 60,000 could be converted to solar. I would like to know what's that magic number, but in any case, they have decided. The motion is to add $65 million. Yes.
Where is that? Where's that?
I don't, well. To move $65 million to the 2025-2026 Municipal Improvement Corporation of Los Angeles program. That's this fiscal year, to do a surge installation of solar power streetlights across the city, at least 500 solar lights per council district, with the street lighting maintenance assessment fund as the source of funds to support the project. And that they, oops. Where did it go? What was that? And that the Bureau of Street Lighting report back within 15 days, but this is just the motion. It's yet been voted on by council with an implementation plan for this. And the thing that is, okay, there was one other thing in here. Well, it's not in here. And, you know, in other words, a report, a clear timeline, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm gonna stop this share. You know, I'm being stupid. For those of us in the room, you have copies of the motion. It's right there. You have one, you have one. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the share. So here's one of our stakeholders, former board member, is who brought this to my attention, asking, can we do a CIS for the board? I mean, in other words, we would need to write it, but this will result in increased taxes. So this was a news story in the LA Times. So the motion doesn't say that, but they're going to also put a thing on the ballot to increase the assessment for the property owners. Property owners currently pay an average of $53 a year into this assessment district, so they want to double that. And I feel like, personally, it's like, I'm fine with that if it's all going to solar. I'm not fine with that if it's going to copper repair and then it gets stolen again.
Right.
Right, so it doesn't say that in this motion. That's what I'm saying. There's a multitude of motions, but we can't find that motion, but the LA Times already wrote about it. So that's kind of, I mean, do we want to do a community impact statement? And if we do want to recommend one to the board, I mean, I can write it or Teresa can write it, but is our position one of support? But for more taxes, do we want what? But limited to only for solar. And I also want an explanation as to why only 60,000 out of 250,000 are eligible for solar.
I mean, presumably we could put our questions in there, like if we are curious about. I would unrelated question. Okay, so we know that there are people stealing copper, right? And they're stealing it, they're stealing it.
Oh,
they're stealing it to get money. Follow my train of thought here. Maybe is it more effective to then prosecute or find the people that are like fueling the need to steal copper?
Well, again, there have been so many motions. That's been one of them.
Okay.
To go after the they're not pawn shops, but to go after the what is that called?
Copper melters or whatever they're doing, because
right.
if there were no money in it, the
correct.
copper would be left alone.
Right.
And so we raise taxes and replace lights and do all this stuff, but then there's still an incentive to go and steal copper.
Right.
You know, we're just paying.
Right.
It should keep.
Right. So again, they're not really called pawn shops. What would that be called? Where people who take like card,
like metal.
Well, no, they're metal recycling places, but some of them are legit and some are not. What's the criminal word? I'm losing it. My brain is just dead.
Scrappers.
Like a chop.
What did you say?
Scrap metal.
Yes. Scrap metal recyclers, but some scrap metal recyclers are not doing copper. So I want to. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's like the chop shop. It's just illegal.
A chop shop for
copper. Yeah. But so there's so many problems. So that's a problem. Can we better prosecute better license, better, pawn shops get visited by the police once or twice a month to make sure they're not receiving stolen goods.
Yeah,
right? But is there any kind of licensing and that kind of thing? That's number one. But number two, these fires, the fires that have been set repeatedly, for example, at Gramercy on 21st, but by the freeway, it's where they're burning the insulation off the copper wire that they've stolen from the street lamp. And yes, so those fires are what's fueling fires along the freeway, because among other places, but certainly, so that's a problem, that's a separate problem, but bad problem. And then I heard a presentation from street light people. Why it's been so easy for the copper thieves to get at the copper is that the way they built our street system is to make it easy for the employees to repair, so it's low. So they're beginning to change some of them so that they're, you know, you have to be up in a bucket lift to make the repairs, but God knows.
But that's more expensive.
Well, that's all because it's a conversion, but also God knows these thieves could get their own bucket lifts, I suppose, and make them look official and no one would even question. No one's questioning it now. They're taking out entire blocks. How do they do that? So there's a lot of complications here. So the solar is obviously the best idea.
Do we have someone, I don't know what this is. Do we have someone that can really like research the issue and recommend a position? Like I know we can read what the different motions.
Oh, I bet you Caesar could, but anyway, but I'm not gonna ask him to do anything more.
Okay. Cause I think if we are gonna submit a CIS, there's so many parts to it and questions and that sort of thing that we maybe wouldn't be clear on what that is.
Well, let me then ask Teresa, who's the one who brought it to our attention,
Okay.
if the answer, if she can research it and
Yeah.
do it. Because I don't mind throwing it on the governing board agenda if somebody has written it without it coming back to us.
Yeah.
Because time is of the essence.
And I think that we can make a better informed decision of what our position is. Like,
Right.
I'm not an expert in this. All of this sounds different.
Well, okay,
It's like, ooh, tomato.
I mean, here's the bottom line. If you were walking your dog on Adams Boulevard tonight,
Mhm.
there would be no lights.
Yeah, it's dark,
Yeah,
just driving over there.
Right,
Yeah,
if you were
I-
walking your dog on
absolutely.
25th Street between Arlington and Cimarron, you would have no lights. Right over there in Kinney Heights.
Mhm.
To the point where that neighborhood it's begun to research how much it would cost if they paid
Just to get
solar.
like,
Well, no, to install solar on their own light poles. And they've had filming, so they have some filming money since, so. But should a neighborhood be required to pay for their own?
no.
Neighbors in Larchmont are doing the same, and it's like, I feel part of our position needs to be, neighbors should not be required. They should not be, because we don't want the rich neighborhoods to have solar. And the poor neighborhoods, and poor can be a matter of simply, do you have filming or you don't have filming? Not, that's people are rich or poor. Lower resource neighborhoods, yes. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but
I agree.
I'll talk to, Teresa brought it up. And if she can get it written. And I mean, at the board meeting, it can be massaged. Okay. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. Michael, I have one update, but do you have any updates on board member attendance?
I think
For
the only delta is that Sandra took care of her training.
Okay, cool. Because Tamala did not, even though she said she would.
He has not.
Right, and I will tell you, yesterday, Christina, the mystery board member,
Okay.
yesterday she resigned. No, she didn't resign for us, but she canceled her MailChimp subscription.
Oh,
So she's no longer getting UNNC e-blast. People don't realize that when you sign up or sign out, I get an email. So I feel we can just eliminate, put on the board agenda that to declare that position vacant. I don't think we need to do anything. I wrote her, Daniel wrote her, and she has canceled her MailChimp, so she wouldn't even know when our meetings are. Well, she would, because I've got her on the board list, but she's never shown up, so I think, I don't feel any compulsion to take any further steps.
Nope.
Fine, yeah.
Okay. So we, at the board meeting, we can declare the position vacant, and that would mean we then can advertise the position. And we can declare that position vacant on February 28th at the board meeting and retreat. I think that's a simple vote, so we can have that as part of that agenda. And then we can advertise the position as being vacant and interview candidates at the next executive meeting in March for an April appointment, ideally. You have to, we can't do the advertisement without it
Is
actually
that
being
a
vacant.
separate thing with Miss Policy? Or
She did not respond to me. Did you text her?
I did, and she texted me, hey, thanks for asking about me doing better, feeling better.
But
And
did
that's it.
you ask her, are you resigning?
I feel like I'll call
I did ask her that question.
her. What did she say?
She didn't answer me. And I sent the email to her personal and to her work.
I feel like, well,
She's not an email person, but I believe she reads her work. I think people who don't read their work emails are probably not working.
I can call in. I think that's more of a soft touch.
If you wouldn't mind,
Official.
because if we have two
Like, you gotta
positions,
remember.
I would like to know if we have two positions vacant.
Okay.
It would not interrupt our interviewing of candidates,
Mhm.
because both positions are at large. Right, so it would not interrupt our, we could advertise a position, interview whoever wants it, but it happens to be two people. And by the time of the April meeting, we resolved Paula. Ideally, we would have, then we could have two, but,
We also have 2 standing vacancies, right?
oh, yes, we do, area 1 and right here in area 3.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we do. And really, area 6, the Jefferson Park, we have 1. I mean, we don't really have 1, but Marco is happy to resign as soon as somebody wants to replace him. So that's the opposite issue. Marco's still in a position that he's not eligible for, but Dunn decided that he can finish out his full term. So he's moved into area 3. But I don't think I think Donna would have something to say if we just slid him over and she's never met him. I
Yeah.
think the head of the neighborhood association would be upset. Okay, but yes, we have, de facto, we have 4 vacancies.
Okay.
That's not good. All right, that's it. Item 5, mayor's climate action. We don't have it from Elizabeth. Item 6, approve agenda items for the March 5, 2026. And then we also gonna have a brief agenda on February 28th. So again, I'll remind you that we have to call February 28th a board meeting and retreat. So that means we have to insert an actual meeting right in the middle of this
So what?
in order for it not to be an event.
Oh, okay, so what items will we would do like all the funding stuff March 5th,
Yes, because they're too long of discussions.
the funding stuff, and then the rest of the stuff.
Well, we could do the declare the thing vacant. We could do the CIS if it's simple, if Teresa has a simple one to create.
For
That
the
we just
5th.
discussed. No, we can do it for the 28th. I mean, we need to have a few things on the 28th. If you have any budget adjustments, we could do that. We won't have we can't do the MER. There won't be one.
I was just looking, did we do
Did you turn it in?
for January? I'm looking for the BAC, I don't see it.
Well, yeah, we did vote on, didn't we, Michael? We voted on the January
I feel like we did
MER
that in
at our February meeting.
February.
Yeah, it was
I
available.
don't see the February, but
Okay,
but that's it, that's all.
it's already done. If it's not done, we could certainly do it at the board, at the 28th.
Yeah, and I can.
But anyway,
Mhm.
Corinne has invited, and the person said yes, as a guest speaker for our March 5 meeting. the senior lead officer for our area from Olympic Station. So
The
police officer, so that would be Olympic Slow, senior lead officer, who covers my neighborhood, Angeles Vista, Western Heights, Harvard Heights, West Adams Heights, but he's coming to our March 5 meeting. So I don't, when I say guest speaker, I mean, he'll be like the first government,
he'll be giving.
but he'll be giving like 10-minute talk.
Okay.
About crime and resources or whatever he's talking about, I don't care, but he's come. And then our regular government, the regular stuff. And we may have a couple. Yeah, we will have a land use thing on the new open space element. So we will have a land use comment letter to approve at least by bullet points on March 5.
March 5. I will probably need to be remote.
Okay.
If my job wins.
Okay.
I will be in Los Angeles camping.
Camping?
The trip is usually towards the end, but there was a conflict of schedule at the place. So we take 50 opportunity youth out to see the snow and hiking and leadership sessions. I'm like, why does this sound familiar? What?
Why do you think you'll have internet?
It's
Where are you
so
going?
we're gonna be in a cabin sponsored by Inyo County of Education, the Department of County Office. of
Oh, great, you're gonna
Education.
be in Inyo, even better.
Yes, so
Not.
it's
Why not?
I mean, the facility that they have, like,
Okay.
it's a large camper, so we're not like roughing, but we're far. Next to snow and trips, but the building itself, I think, is equipped.
All right, well, you may or may not be present for the March 5 meeting.
Yes, but I will try.
Right, because we
I
do
don't
have
think I'll
the
be
funding
working, so.
request.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael, do you have any items for either of those agendas, February 28 or March 5?
I do not.
Okay, because we'll need to be cleverly have some real agenda items for the 28th.
Okay.
So that we're not totally, I can't say it on a tape recording, but we have to have a board meeting that includes some voting items on the 28th, and they should be time sensitive, but we'll figure it out. We don't need to figure it out tonight. But and I have to turn that agenda in.
Can we do the funding stuff
It's
and just separate it out?
It just takes too much time. We want to keep the meeting to no more than 20 minutes to 30 minutes
If we do,
of the whole retreat.
if we do just the firefighters and just the MPG from my side, that's it. Are we gonna have enough people for that?
Yeah, we risk not actually having quorum, but at least we will have good intentions. So I don't think we should.
Okay.
Also, I think to be inviting people to come to the retreat, but not come to the retreat, only come for a meeting. But then would you leave, please? Only you don't have to leave because it's open to the public. It's complicated. Okay. So I mean, I'll figure it out, but maybe we'll do that community impact statement.
Definitely.
And we can declare the seat vacant. And we can do our minutes from the February 5th meeting. I mean, there's just little things we can do.
Okay.
And if we need to adjust the budget, we could do that. Meaning, if you take a look after this meeting and say, oh, geez, we really do need to move some money. We need to transfer money from here to there. We could do that.
Okay.
I'm thinking of non-controversial,
No, you're not wrong. You're right.
just so we can do the meeting.
So you have me.
Correct. One last thing, I think the answer, I've already given her an answer. I was contacted by a community advocate to ask if UNNC could write a letter, just like Mid-City Neighborhood Council did, and OPNC, Olympic Park Neighborhood Council did on a project located on the corner of Pico and Crenshaw, but in OPNC, so it's the northwest corner. And it's this. So do you know where the big public storage building is? That's the southeast corner. That's within UNNC's footprint. That's the last corner, the last corner of UNC, but it's a three neighborhood councils meet at that intersection. So kitty corner at 4201 West Pico is a mega project, an 8-story.
It's like an apartment building or some building.
And mega buildings too, that will go from Crenshaw to Victoria along Pico and then at an angle as well behind. So 2 buildings with a center oasis, open space, but no open space on the edges. So I'm familiar with the project because West Adams Heritage weighed in. I wrote a detailed letter because right next to it, it looms over the William Grant Still residence, which is a historic cultural monument. And one of their requests is to have a 0-foot setback. And another of their requests is not just to reduce open space, but not to be forgiven from having to plant all the trees. But they are saying because it would be too expensive to plant trees. So I think no, that doesn't seem to be a proper reason to not plant trees. So I'm already familiar with the project because we West Adams Heritage, not we UNNC, wrote a letter saying that essentially, not necessarily what the neighborhood wanted to hear, why don't you go higher, build it higher on Pico, don't reduce the number of units, but pull it back from the adjacent historic district and in particular its historic house and use that 8 feet or whatever would be required to put in a landscape buffer. That would help. And also consider transit option, traffic, figure out a way to mitigate so that perhaps Victoria becomes one way going south so that cars cannot go into, again, it's the Oxford Square HPOC. I mean, it's a R1 residential area, but maybe so that this project has to absorb all of the issues that it will create and don't put those issues elsewhere, keep it within it. Anyway, she contacted me to say, can UNNC write a letter? It's like, well, we looked at this case at Planning and Zoning Committee months ago, but didn't do anything about it. I can go back and look at our AI and see, what was discussed, but what's your deadline? Well, now it turns out the Planning Commission hearing is a week from Thursday, so I don't think UNNC can write a letter. It violates our protocols. It won't have gone to the board. I mean, it's really unfortunate because obviously I could have taken it to the board. I'm familiar with the project, but I didn't.
So you said by the time we have our next Thursday,
the 26th. It's the 26th at the Planning Commission. So I'm sort of the only kind of letter. I mean, I could write a stupid letter from UNNC that says we did consider it and we have these broad tenets, TENETS, that we don't support the reduction of open space. We don't support not planting trees. But other than that, we support new housing opportunities. Oh, and I might add, you'll remember that the Vision Zero team from the street department they're doing this Pico Boulevard, they're slowing down Pico from Figueroa to Crenshaw. They're doing a Vision Zero project. So they're reducing the lanes. They're adding the bike lanes, reducing the traffic lanes, slowing things down, trying to avoid having people die, right? And somebody brought that up. I went to the OPNC meeting. Olympic Park Neighborhood Council meeting, somebody brought up that this is happening. And the only people allowed to speak at OPNC are board members. It was an interesting meeting. But somebody brought it up, somebody else said, yes, they're trying to make sure people don't die. And then a third board member gets up and speaks and said, I don't care if more people die, I just don't want cars cutting through my block. And I'm like, you didn't just say that. You didn't just say that. Did you just say that? But he did.
So we would need to put in a letter.
I'm not sure we have any real way of putting in a letter.
Yeah. I mean, that's also true, right? Like if we don't have enough time to put together something and get approved properly, and sometimes the deadline is just.
It's really too bad that she asked me to do this yesterday. Because we could have
Or
decided.
it may not be the last time, right? Like.
Well, if somebody appeals to city council, but I'm not sure how that works. It's a density bonus case. It's not fully ministerial. It is going to the planning commission. But it is the last time if it doesn't move on to city council, and I'm not sure. The state of California passed laws that have removed CEQA from infill projects, and this is an infill project. So it may, I mean, in other words, there's some exceptions to this. This may be the last time we could weigh in. So what do you guys think? Should I try to carefully weigh in and just have executive officers approve the careful weigh in, or not even make the attempt?
I mean, so certainly I think if you wanted to, a broad outline of our principles, I think would basically accomplish what we would want. And that's fine. That's something we've agreed upon over time. I don't think that steps outside of our authority in any significant way.
I mean, we do have, to your point, a set of general guideline rules of things we generally have supported.
Or have exactly voted. No, we have voted on certain things. We have voted on certain things.
Yeah.
We support native plants, for example.
Mhm.
We support increase in our tree canopy, we don't want to plant trees because it's too expensive to plant and to maintain them. Is that what they actually wrote? And it's the app, I mean, that caught my eye, shall I say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's
And
like a general outline
of our principles. Okay. I already told her there was no way I was going to take a draft letter she wrote and use it for us.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Unless anybody else has anything. Ugh. Oh my God. No, don't. It's too late.
Thanks for staying the whole time.
Yes.
We have a sausage made.
Okay.